one and only Maze Jackson Show.
Today, the Biden administration is releasing what it calls a new strategy to fight domestic terrorism. Following a 100-day review, federal officials are now laying out a new plan hoping to deter, detect, and prosecute domestic terror.
They went to the Capitol waving their flags and looking for smoke. He was out there looking for justice. They was over there looking for votes. Ashley Babbitt was with him and told all the people that nothing could stop us. She climbed through the Capitol window, beat security, and called a shot, bro. The media say she a veteran. They paint the picture to make her look greater, but she disrespected the same country that she served. That makes her a traitor. They was fighting police, resisting arrest. On God, I couldn't believe it. I guess blue lives only tend to really matter when it's convenient. Hey, these are the times we witness in history, all because they didn't get a victory. United States is so contradictory. We get equal rights, that's a mystery. Politicians, they more like magicians. You know they got tricks up their sleeve. We point out the flaws that's up in this country. You know they gonna tell us to leave. Somebody try to help me understand it. Always seems like a double standard. They be out here leaving us empty-handed to certain rights we are not granted. The media is the culprit when it comes to the comparison. Cause when it comes to race, they always changing up the narratives. Terrorism. They say you a patriot, call you a hero. I call it terrorism. And that's on the real. You know what we know, I say it's terrorism. They say you a patriot, call you a hero. I call it terrorism. And that's on the real. You know what we know, I say it's terrorism. They say you a patriot, call you a hero. I call it terrorism. And that's on the real. You know what we know, I say it's terrorism. They say you a patriot, call you a hero. I call it terrorism. We still out here trying to get our reparations, but the government pump faking out here hesitating. I'm out here trying to keep my peace, so I keep meditating. The media make us look bad, they taint our reputation. Look, it's so sad that COVID causing toe tags. You claim you so patriotic, but you ain't wearing no mask. You out here wilding with your MAGA flags and showing your ass. You wanna be part of some type of revolution so bad. Look, you talk revolution and constitutional rights, homie. I guess we forgot about back in the days when all of the business was whites only. Yeah. George Floyd got justice. Juneteenth got much respect. They made it a national holiday. Man, it's all good, but cut the check. They giving out all of these vaccines, putting it in you like caffeine. Was it all in a part of the plan? I bet money like DraftKings. It's land of the free, home of the brave. 1776, we wasn't free till 1865, so we wasn't part of that shit. And that there is terrorism.
Back to the Maze Jackson Show. You are listening to the most dangerous show in the morning. This is What's in It for the Black People Radio. Maze Jackson, the most vociferous advocate for black people in the world.
For Ruthie Moore, for Todd Stoger, I am the host of the Maze Jackson Show, asking every single day, what's in it for the black people? And if you don't like it, you can still tell them Maze said, Mayor Lightfoot, man, we ain't accepting that. We ain't accepting that. Let's go. Yeah.
Let's get down to business and go ahead and address the facts, man. Lightfoot seems more lesbian than black. Rahm Emanuel's another case. He was just as tired. 50 closed schools left much to be desired. Police had Anjanette naked on that body cam. They suppressed the footage so it couldn't touch a lot of hands. Reminds me of that 16 shots in that cover-up. Both of them similar, so I went and dug it up. George Floyd killed, a lot of riots happened in the town. Southside burned and they wouldn't let them bridges down. Grandmother sick, need a prescription and plus a couple groceries. You gon' have to travel just to get it now. COVID-19 out here shutting all the business down. Not enough SBA loans to even give around. So many failed businesses that you can put them in the pile. If you don't survive the pandemic, it's gonna sit you down. We sing, dance, play ball, entertain, and crack jokes. Government infested black neighborhoods with crack smoke. System that milked us so bad, we got lactose. Still trying to find out what's in it for us black folks. We sing, dance, play ball, entertain, and crack jokes. Government infested black neighborhoods with crack smoke. System that milked us so bad, we got lactose. Still trying to find out what's in it for us black folks. Shout out to Willie Wilson, hope one day you get to send it. We need some different players in the game to handle business. Too many shady characters like Madigan and Blago. But when you really break it down, it's typical Chicago. City full of gangsters, it's what the land was built on. Same streets with hood legends, DNA get spilled on. Carjackers out here lurking, trying to get they steal on. Looking for a block to put them Hellcat wheels on. Let us give bogus appraisals a red line. Car crackers out here getting minimal fair time. And Uncle Seal carry, I stay with the pipe. But Illinois gun laws giving minimal rights. Stay up on the swivel, make sure I'm moving tight. Check all of my mirrors when I pull up to the light. Pick my homie up from out of town, man, he caught a flight. He was hella nervous, told him, shorty, this is a way of life. We sing, dance, play ball, entertain, and crack jokes. Government infested black neighborhoods with crack smoke. System that milked us so bad, we got lactose. Still trying to find out what's in it for us black folks. We sing, dance, play ball, entertain, and crack jokes. Government infested black neighborhoods with crack smoke. System that milked us so bad, we got lactose. Still trying to find out what's in it for us black folks.
Wake up, Chicago! Wake up, world. This is the Maze Jackson Show. I'm your host, Maze Jackson. Got my man, DJ Riis, the ruler, in the building. Riis, just telling you, man. It's so unfortunate to me that we tend to accept less. And it's crazy to me that your premise that makes me sick. That we don't know, and a lot of times I feel like we get misguided into working against our own self-interests. So then we find ourselves arguing against economics, even though we need them to be effective. Does that make sense? Like, and white folks be like, money is bad, and y'all worried about money, and y'all trying to get money, and that make you be the devil, and blah 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 blah. All the while your rent due. And then what's crazy to me is, Ungawa Black Power will tell you, ignore your rent. Man, don't eat for the black man. Same black man stab you in the back. I don't know, Riis. I just don't know, man. I just don't know. Give us a call, 872-259-7474. I guess Riis is right. We are just conditioned to take less. Because I think you can put a number up in front. Like, if you say anything over $200 million, black people think that's a big deal. Even if you got to split it amongst 1 million people. And it's $250 each. Black folks be like, man, I'll get that $250, I'm going to flip it.
It's our mindset, man. We so trained, man. We so trained to take less and make it out of nothing. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like you said, pig feet, all that. Like, we was giving the pig to eat, and now we make some of the best food out of swine. Like, we have been trained here in America to accept what we accept since we came here, man. Since we've been brought over here, we've been treated like less. If we knew better, we'd do better. So, like, we keep what we looking for, we will get, just not right now. We are the building stones for the next 1,000 years. Like, we can't expect us to be where we want to be. And if you do 100 years from now, Maze, we couldn't even look at a white woman. We can walk on the same side of the street as a white person. So we can't expect change to happen so quick. We were just fighting for equal rights in the 60s. Like, it wasn't that long ago.
It's still, shoot, we fighting for it now.
But that's my point exactly. So, but we have to understand that what we looking for, that we may not be able to attain the goal, but if we can just keep putting little bitty bricks to help build it, then the people after us, you know what I'm saying, eventually will finish it. And that day that we talking about, it will come. Unfortunately, I believe that we won't see it, but it'll come.
So what do we do in the meantime?
Just keep doing what we've been doing. Just keep fighting, you know what I'm saying? Like, never give up. Even though the odds of against us is, you know, we know that we're not going to win. We just keep making small dents in it. Just keep making small dents until eventually.
So you sounding like Hillary Clinton. I'm telling you. You sound like Hillary Clinton. Oh, we put 100 million cracks in that glass ceiling, and one day it's going to fall.
It's going to crack, but that's the truth.
Riis, how many but if they kill us all before it go? Like, I'm just saying, when's the last time you seen India? Not at Dunkin' Donuts. When's the last time you seen India? You laughing at me. I'm telling you. Like, white people will extinct you. Right?
Yeah, I know what you mean. That's why
Not
I'm
red
lying.
dot
That's
feather.
why I'm lying. That's why.
Indian. When's the last time you seen not somebody talking about they got Cherokee in their blood, but it's straight up Columbus Day, and then they fade, then they turn back into being Latinos. So Riis, I think that sometimes I do believe that there is the belief that we cannot be extincted in this country. And I just believe that we can. And be reduced to a population that is so minuscule that we're insignificant and we just be happy to live on our little reservations walking around with no water. Junior, call in and tell me. 872-259-7474. You got something you want to say? You feeling a certain way? Talk to me. 872-259-7474. Y'all always about to be calling my cell phone. Yeah. Riis, you think you slick. Riis be giving out his cell phone. Oh, y'all know it's Wednesday too, right? Are y'all back today?
Yeah, we should be back today.
Y'all back today? So, you should be?
Should be back today.
What? Don't tell me Toy took Spirit to, she took Spirit somewhere.
You know, I got to do some GM work around here. So, you know, as long as everything, work out well, then yeah. But okay. We good, though. We good.
All right. Just making sure. All right. It's the Maze Jackson Show. Let's go to the live line. Caller, you're on the Maze Jackson Show.
Well, hallelujah. Greetings, good guys. How y'all feeling?
All right. How you feeling, Mama D?
Hey, well, what's in it for the black people is more needed today than it was yesterday, because the voice of the Negro that became the voice of the nation is now the radio station for Black and Brown.
What? What you mean by that?
When they introduced it, they said, WBON, this is the station for Black and Brown. It's about inclusion.
Who said that?
But what I wanted to say,
you know what? I wouldn't know because I ain't heard it. I ain't heard it since I was summarily.
All day long. As of yesterday, that's the new tag. Because Melody Span Cooper is the chairperson of the Inclusion Committee for the Obama Center, and that is their new tag. That is what they're saying. Not the voice of the nation, but the voice of Black and Brown. Check it out. But what I wanted to say is that Reverend Dr. Prophet King said, we want our rights on these 3 paragraphs, that he fought for the right to all people, and they have been promoting that lie every step. Read the whole speech, and you will discover that the only part that don't say Negro out of the whole 16 paragraphs is paragraph 12, 13, and 14. So, but I wanted to say about that stimulus money, the violence prevention, they're not being split. This reparations for all and end in poverty is not reparations for Black people. They would rather make it for all people than for Black people. And all these aldermen had to do, if they had any guts at all, was to say, we want that $500 a month for 5,000 people, part of reparations. Period. End of story. But they didn't have the guts to do that. Because when Trump gave that $800+ million, the day after Mayor Lightfoot discovered that Blacks was dying at a rate of 72%, Latinos and whites were dying at a rate of 8%, Asians 5%, she issued an executive order guaranteeing 19 COVID relief benefits to the non-citizens that included them getting a $1,000 check and them having $100 million set aside for small business loans and 100,000 remote learning devices. And this was just 3 of the 19 guaranteed benefits. And then when it came to Black people dying at a rate of 72%, she set aside some money for violence prevention that they had to share with Black and Brown and everybody else. Go back and revisit that. So we can't wait another 100 years and get ours in dribbles and drabbles when they keep telling us, just vote, shut your mouth. Y'all is Biden going to get away with cutting millions from the set-asides that Trump set aside? We got to get away from this locked in with this Democrat stuff because we act like crack addicts when we do, just going back for that fix no matter what kind of damage it's doing. So we got to get out of that, get some courage and get some guts and tell Joe Biden where to go. We don't want reparations for everybody. We want reparations for the people that they have ruined. And until we straighten that out, we should act like a mule just set on our ass and do nothing. And let them move on that. Thank you for hearing me out.
Thank you, Mama D. So wait, Mama D said a lot in there, but I'm not, so they shall remain nameless, but did I just hear it correctly? So 1 year ago, a little over a year ago, July 1st, 2020, we made the decision to walk away because we had physical and audible evidence that the mayor provided the economic resources to unleash the Latino community street organizations on our people. We knew that. People called in saying they were under attack. Shout out to my man Roberto Sepulveda, who didn't deny it and said, Maze, if there's any people that you know that we can help, we're organizing to help get them in the Latino community to wherever they need to be. I remember getting the phone call, right? Because I had Gary McCarthy on, who told us, I know everybody don't like Gary McCarthy, but I got to tell white people, you got to hear from the ops. He told you what was happening as it happened. I remember the phone ringing and me being told, I told you couldn't talk to this dude. Okay, your station, I'm cool. I remember people calling physically under assault. Remember when they threw the spear through the windshield and killed the person driving? Remember when the family called us up and told us they was going to the gas station and they turned down the wrong corner and the Latino gangs came out and beat them, killed the dude, drove him, and then shot up the car while they had the kids? Remember when Chappelle told us she was driving and they threw bricks through her car as she was driving down the street? And I felt like I felt the need. I felt like that was the reason that I was here. And I remember going on air and I remember everybody being like, you sure you want to talk about that? You sure you want to? And I was like, what are we supposed to do? We are supposed to be the voice of our people. And I remember getting the phone call telling me that I could no longer speak on it, that I was no longer able to say the mayor's name. I was no longer able to talk about this black and brown thing. And if some caller called, I was to hang up on them, even if they called us in distress. And I remember walking away. Like, I remember calling my friends and saying, man, I can't believe this. I'm like, I believe in this black thing. And like, our people are under assault, and it's like the police are against us and the whole world, and we're under assault. And now the mayor's released these gang members on us, and it's like our people are calling, they need help. And, people say, you don't know, this to me is my mission, to use this platform. And I remember being like, okay, I could just come back and broadcast. And again, I told you, I swear to God, I wish God would deliver me from this. I really do. I really do. Because I remember being like distraught. Like, am I going to lose my show? I mean, I'm the morning show host and blah, 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 blah. And all of these things happened in my mind. But something said not something, it was God. And we built this entity. And here a year, just a little over a year later. And I remember I still got the video of her standing up in front of the Urban League and telling them what's in it for the black people, because it was the sexy thing to say. If y'all are telling me that our heritage station, and y'all know I have refrained from ever, is now the station of black and brown, and that's in conjunction with our first black president, this is why we accept less. This is why I want to be delivered from this. I promise you, I want God to deliver me from this because I feel like it's futile. Like, how does the voice of the Negro become the huh? Please tell me that's a lie. Yeah, somebody call me and tell me that is not true. Give us a call, 872-259-7474. Don't ever question my principles, though. Cause guess what? Some of y'all gonna be right back there. Even knowing the distress that we in, you be right there. It's like mugs be talking about taking that stand. They be like, man, that mic is sexy, bro. The mic is sexy. And it's like they keep pushing and keep pushing and keep limiting and keep pushing until you ain't never. Look, it's the Maze Jackson Show. Go to the phone lines, Riis. Please tell. Can somebody please call me and tell me if that's true or not true? Caller.
Hello.
Hello. Hey, caller.
Good morning. This is Katie. How are you?
Hey, Katie. You know, Katie, you one of my motivators. I be seeing you out there on social media too. I appreciate you. What's up, Katie? How you feeling today? You calling from Ashburn?
Well, yeah,
okay.
Yeah. And, we are being compromised, and we got a lot of our leaders, community leaders, they're the gatekeepers. So they get their little stuff from folks to keep going, and their job is to keep us under control. So they're the gatekeepers. I can see that now, and we're just so happy that you are able to start your own, and that's a very good thing, because in the past, when people had problems, they had nowhere to go. But now with social media, people could start their own, and it's good because they can tell the truth and keep beating and telling the truth. But it's just so many of us that have been compromised and don't know and don't understand that's what makes it a big problem. But if the Hispanics, they don't need WVON. They got their own stuff. So no matter what, even if they do want to include them, they're going to include them. But Hispanics, they're not going to be included. They come to take over. Mm-hmm. They know inclusion. They come to take over. So I don't know what it's going to take, but we are being compromised under. We've been hit in every direction. And, it's just a human thing. Look at what happened with the Taino Indians in Puerto Rico and all over the Caribbean and stuff. The Europeans came over and they intermarried. And just like they're doing here, they're intermarrying and they're taking over. Because they're going to intermarry, with the reparations and stuff. They hope to, by the time that we get a stronger voice, by that time, they hope that it'll be fruitless, because they will. By the time they get to intermarrying, making then with this other gay stuff going on, pulling them in, they just hitting us from every direction that they possibly can. And so I don't know, but I'm glad that you were able to
start your own. And I know that gives you a breath of fresh air, and you can do it, your way, and you can build and gain money the way that, you know how to do it, and you don't have to answer to anybody, and that's a good thing, and I'm proud of you. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Katie. So I want to let y'all know that our address is 2907 South Wabash, Unit 201, 60609. We got to keep free black radio, right? Y'all know I pay to be on the radio, just to ensure that our seniors have the opportunity. I could be all social all day. Numbers would probably be a lot more on social, but this is like, y'all, this is not, do y'all understand this is like truly a labor of love? Like, honestly. Because I just don't know. Like, I don't know who black has. So let me suggest that there was a political class that existed that probably didn't exist. The conversation of politics at the level that we have it now, I would argue did not exist. The level of debate. We were people of color. We were happy to be included. We was down with all the studies. People could come in and we would take all the selfies. And I think that we've provided a level of enlightenment. Actually, I believe we've created a class of media people that have taken variations of what we've done to try and raise the consciousness of black people. But I have become convinced, my friends, that the unifying factor has to revolve around economy. It's like, because nothing else makes sense to black folks. It's like, even your most conscious black people are self-destructive to black people. Even the most conscious ones, whether they recognize it or not. And the only real neutralizer, in my estimation, that I found is economy. We like to pretend like there's this black love. It ain't. It don't exist. The thing that binds people together in the black community outside of your family is the ability to earn, to provide, to make money. Beyond that, and people can tell you all this holier than thou crap that they want to. But the only thing that people really respect in the grand scheme of things is the economics of it. Economics will change your attitude all the time. And I think that so many of us have been so used to not getting money and getting the hookup and getting the something else. Like, we don't, like, people be trying to pretend like, oh, our blackness is enough. It's not. Our blackness is not enough. Because until you all are working together to create something better, black people see you as competition to their meal. And it's only when and what I've found is the thing that moves people working together in the right direction is the pot of gold at the end. The reward, the tangible reward. And over time, when you start to make money together and you build and it works, then you have a more stronger reason to be inclined to work together. But until you do, be real with yourself. If your whole career has been built on looking at somebody else and being like, I could do it better than him, but how come you ain't eating because of you, cuz. And it ain't always skill. It ain't always talent. It's also attitude. It's also like that genuineness comes through when there ain't no money. And I've come to find that when there is no money, especially with black people, they will cross you in a second. And so I think we keep trying to take money out of the equation. But if you look at even your most, we got to get this bread. I can show you time and time again where the most conscious black person in the world will trade their consciousness for economy and rationalize it. So instead of trying to ignore the elephant in the room, why don't we incorporate the elephant in the room? Why don't we stop running from the economy and say that the only thing that's going to happen to us is if we don't build an economy is we're going to die? Because the Negro talking about Ungawa Black Power will be the first Negro tearing your stuff up. In the name of blackness, because now they have claimed the title of black. Tell you what I have found is that even the most diverse group of black people who don't like each other, if there's a pot of gold at the end, that becomes their motivation. And the relationship builds because they got the pot of gold. And then as you chop up the pot of gold, you be like, I'd like to do this again. And the trust continues to build. But because Negroes ain't never seen no money, they think $50,000 is enough to cut you out. People think that, oh, I'm about to get $10,000, so I'm going to steal your info and go do it because I'm going to get $10,000 when we could get $10 million. And it's like sometimes I feel like you talking to, it's like you know people who have seen it and understand it, and it's part of the reason that the people that got it don't mess with the people who don't. Because the people who have never seen it want you to lower the rim to 9 feet because they can't dump. It's the Mace Jackson Show. Let's take a quick break. When we come back, I want to know if y'all saw the video. I'm going to play the video. Riis, I got my, I don't think I got my joint right now. Oh, we got a caller? Let's take the caller and then we'll come back. Caller, you on the Mace Jackson Show.
Hey, good morning, Mace.
James Big Slim.
Good morning to the family.
What's up, Famo?
Hey, Mace. I was listening to Mama D and that sister that just got off the line, and unfortunately, a lot of what they saying is true. And you know, I was so disappointed because I've been a long time listener of that station, and it was a breath of fresh air when they added you to that program. Because when they added you, there was a sincere concern for the black community that wasn't heard on that station. And I honestly think, you know, I hate to say this, and I've heard Melody Span Cooper come on the radio and talk about how, for instance, her best interest was in the fact, in the point that this mayor to succeed. In other words, when you're trying to, what's the word I'm looking for? When you're, okay, this is what I'm trying to say. I honestly think that station has been watered down so much. It's all about profit, and it's all about profit with them. And Melanie Span Cooper is part of that elite you talk about. That few that's getting the crumbs. She's part of that. And when I heard her come on the station and say what she said, she didn't say the best interest of the black community. She talked about her best interest. And that says a lot. And if you listen, like yesterday, I listened to the interview you had with the Inspector General, and I listened to the interview on that station later on that evening. And it was just so telling that it's almost like they're complicit in our condition. Like they don't want to rock the boat. It's like somebody is funding them. They just like that station is not what it used to be at all. And it's sad because a lot of us look to that station for so-called truth when it comes to our community, and it's not being given on that station. When you left that station, you exposed a lot because you were something different that we ever heard. And to hear you and then to tune into that station, brother, And it's disappointing to me because, like I said, I'll always listen to that station. That's where I went to for information. Thought I was getting what was best for the community. But I don't know what's going on with that station, even with their commentators, even with their personality. You can't say nothing about that mayor.
I told you what the hell. Back up. Be clear.
Go ahead.
She told me out of her mouth, you are not to say anything bad about this mayor. If someone calls, James.
Go ahead.
We had black people physically calling the station under assault, trying to figure out how to get out of their homes. Seniors trying to figure out a way, and they literally told me, if those people call in, you hang up on them. And I just.
For me, this is what I'm trying to understand. Why? She's the mayor. If it was Rahm, it would have been all right. If it was Davey, it would have been all right. Why? Why you can't criticize her? She's sitting in a chair that she's supposed to. You don't understand what I'm saying? What made her so special? Because she's black and gay?
No, because
and she a woman?
No, can I tell you something, James? And then I'm gonna stop you right here.
Please enlighten me, because I don't understand what happened to that radio station.
Well, I'm not gonna speak on the radio station, and I'm gonna let y'all do whatever y'all say, whatever y'all want to say. Essentially, guys, y'all got to understand that there is. Salim called it a deep state, right? And there's called a deep city, and our outlets, even if you go back to Mayor Daley, he always figured out a way to compromise. And I'm talking about the original Mayor Daley. If you was a church, Riis, look at me. If you was a church, if you were a black church, you got 30. But if you had a black church with a broadcast ministry, then he gave you 50,000, right? And what has happened is, in our community, our outlets, as we've become less and less reliant on black people or corporate donations, or as we haven't been able to farm and build our community, our institutions, which is why I'm so concerned about us in this Black Caucus budget, become subsidized entities. So now our subsidized entities are no longer getting money from ad sales. They're getting money from their relationships with government entities. So now they become platforms to spew. Like, I don't want to tell y'all how it worked, but it's like during the campaign season, it was a way that it worked. You could always tell who was on the team and who wasn't on the team. And it's a challenge for me. It's just a challenge for me, guys. Like, when you think in the realm of John Sinstack and what John Johnson and all those guys did to create an entity for ourselves, and that brand, regardless of how we feel about it, carries a certain level. It's just like the Defender. They've mastered the use of our vehicles for their benefit. I mean, I remember when I was going to interview Rahm, and they had 16 calls and tried to tell me what I could talk about and what I couldn't talk about. And Rahm would talk on the station only if I spoke. And I was like, wait, what? Like, dog, and there is a certain level of control that comes with the boss being able to control what the personalities say. So, again, you know that if Joe Ferguson comes on, to us, we're going to talk about black stuff. If he comes on and he tries to lay that stuff out there, the host's job is to block and tackle. To make sure, well, I don't see why it's that bad. Well, why? They'll bring the subject to you. But the premise is that we know that our people love our personalities. First of all, Kimo Sabi ain't rewinding nothing. I do the rewinding around this part. There you go. There's your rewind. In case you didn't know, this is the shooting of Turrell Brown. You saw pieces of it yesterday. We are playing it. So it's the Maze Jackson Show. Let's take a quick break, and then we're going to wrap this thing up when we come back.
Jackson Show. We'll be back after this break.
WIFTV-PM.
Broken screen? Crash system? Are you in need of spyware or virus removal from your computer? Well, contact RPC Computer Repair in South Shore and let us help you with all your computer repair services and print needs. Need office or print production services, copies, scans, fax, or even notary service? Then stop by and support RPC Computer Repair and Print Shop located 1741 East 71st Street in the 71st Street corridor, newly revitalized South Shore areas, and let RPC be your one-stop shop, where we believe RPC is your PC. RPC Computer Repair is also a UPS access point where you can drop off and pick up your important packages. So let RPC be of service to you. Call RPC Computer Monday through Saturday, 8 a.m. through 6 p.m. at 773-966-4457. That's 773-966-4457. Visit RPC at rpccomputeringinc.com for more information.
You see me, you see him, my best friend. He hold me down like ankles fighting the waves. Apply not to my crime, yeah, I do time. Till I'm with you, I'll be counting the days. Yeah, ooh, been through so many things, but we always get through. Yeah, ooh, it ain't always perfect, but it's worth it. This is deeper than the surface. If I said I didn't love you, you and I know I've been frontin'. Wiped all my scars away like it was nothing. Took the parts of me I tried to hide and make them something, something. Like it was nothing. Ooh, some magic, baby. Ooh, you know you drive me crazy. Ooh, you give me peace of mind. Ooh, let me tell you why. Make it easy. Say, to take it easy. Say, feel so weak. Say, easy to love. Say, to take it easy. Say, feel so weak. Say, easy to love. I never thought that I would give it to you, but now I don't think it's the time. I won't do it. I think it's cause the way you talk to me. Know how to say it without making me feel little. You're gracious even when you pop off on me. When you get done, I got a little something to drop off on you. Because you earned it with the time you took to put it that way. You got me liking to get put in my place. I didn't love you, you and I know I've been frontin'. Wiped all my scars away like it was nothing. Took the parts of me I tried to hide and make them something, something. Like it was nothing. Ooh, some magic, baby. Ooh, you know you drive me crazy. Ooh, you give me peace of mind. Ooh, let me tell you why. You make it easy. Say, to take it easy. Say, feel so easy. Say, easy to love. Easy to you make it easy. Say, to take it easy. Say, feel so weak. Say, easy to love. You make it easy. You make it easy. You make it easy.
You are listening to the Maze Jackson Show, and you are actually watching the murder of Turrell Brown. Yesterday, they were showing the video on the news, and they were showing the unedited clip. I am actually this should be. I'm sure they're gonna put a warning on this video. But I was just thinking about the murder of Turrell Brown. He was 28 years old. I really should give you the audio of the video. And Riis, let's see if we can get that. Let's try and let me do this. I'm gonna pause this. And Riis, we're gonna get us some audio. And let's see if I can get you, because I wanted you to see how it started. There is oftentimes the cases of domestic violence. And one of the things that I'm always leery about is when people... We connected? It says we're connected. All right. I'm going to remove it. And then, Riis, we're going to do it, reset it, and do it. Turrell Brown, 28-year-old black man, the video was killed on September 19th. The video was just released yesterday. The video was released yesterday. Dang, I don't see it. Let's turn it. Oh, there you go. All right, I got it. Riis, one time in my life, I had a domestic situation. One time. And it really wasn't on me. It was my ex had been overserved. And, you know, sometimes our sisters, when they get overserved, they get, you know. And I remember the threat of her calling the police. And I knew that if the police came, no matter the fact that I didn't do anything, I was going to go to jail. So I bounced. And I avoided the situation. I want to play the video because there's a part of this that I want to talk about. And it's the challenge that black people have in dealing with the police. Oh, goodness. The challenge black people have in dealing with the police. Riis, you got me? I'm going to play the precursor to this. All right? Here we go, y'all. This is the shooting of Turrell Brown. Here we go.
Everything's been recorded, okay?
Yeah.
What's going on today? What happened?
He followed me, hit me all in my face, all in my chest. Like
Did he need medical attention?
Yeah.
What was the fight about?
We're downstairs washing the clothes. He takes the detergent, do like this. I say stop, hit me all in my chest, but I push him back. He go from that, hit me all in my face, punch me in my face, punch me all on my side, everything.
Where did he punch you on your side?
All right here.
Do you have any bruises or anything like that?
No, but he pulled a knife on me too. I want him out of my house, and I'm pressing charges on him.
What's his name?
Turrell Brown, he in the back.
Turrell Brown?
Yeah.
He has to have a knife right now?
Yep.
He has it like physically?
Yeah, I want him out.
Stay right here, okay?
Go back away.
724 emergency.
Yeah, we got put it down, dude! Put that knife down! Put it down! Put it down! You got an armed man with a knife in the apartment here.
Put it down, my guy.
Put it down! Put the knife down! Put it down! Put it down! 724 shots fired. Shots fired by the police. Put it down! Put it down! Get down on the ground! 724 shots fired by the police. You got the defender down. Weapon recovered. I need EMS out there. EMS.
Down the road.
I need 724. I need to see about that as well.
Let me get some more cards. 724.
Where's the knife at?
Right there by the foot.
Alright, 724, you got to see that.
724, both POs are found. We got an defender down. We're on the EMS out there right away. And the supervisor. I'm on the second floor, apartment 280. Stay inside. Okay.
Again, anyone responding to 6550 South Harbor.
Okay.
Next floor, 2 And keep the street clear for the ambulance. Keep the street clear.
You got any more? All right, give me a couple minutes. All right.
Alright, 724, you guys still good?
724.
Is he through? Repeat that, you're almost.
724.
Nothing more. So I'm a couple things, and I don't know where I fit with that. So I'm watching the comments, and I think that there's a couple things, and I think we're torn. I see a lot of y'all saying, she shouldn't have called the police, right? This is the challenge with domestic violence, and I'm not going to get super deep in this real quick. Whew. I hear a lot of y'all saying like, well, she knew better than to call the police. That's why you don't call the police. How do we ignore the domestic violence component of that? I got y'all with the knife. I got you. So I do think you need to be familiar with the 21-foot rule, which is police believe that if you're within 21 feet, they whatever you got is a weapon, is a weapon, is a weapon. I do think that there is the challenge of domestic violence in our community that we don't talk about. That woman told you now maybe she lied on him. Maybe she did. The man in your house, he say he don't want to, you done whoop me and now you back in my house and I want you to leave. Now, I don't know how many times it's happened, and this is just, do y'all understand the challenge of the domestic violence component of it? And then the challenge of, do you tell the police? Because if a woman calls me and tells me she's getting beat up by the dude, what is she supposed to do? You better call Tyrone, or you better call Eric Mobley now. But if you ain't got their number, what do you do? Do you stay there? It's the conundrum of domestic violence. And God help you if you step to somebody and just be like, hey, brother, we don't condone you putting your hands on a woman. Brothers won't talk about that. We won't. We'll be like, oh, man, everybody turn their head, look the other way, and pretend like it didn't happen. And it's a challenge. Because usually the dude is your boy, y'all cool with him, blah, 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 blah. But if nobody's going to step, so she calls the police. Now, we know what the outcome is with the police. It's a conundrum. He should definitely not have died. People said, why did she, hey man, y'all saw that video of the dude who she called her uncles and them, they came over and they got killed. Remember that family in Indiana that they came over? She had gotten beat up by a boyfriend and the brothers came over there and he killed the whole house. Y'all, and that's why I be like, when there's domestic violence issue and y'all be like, well, we gonna pretend like we don't see it. And I be like, no, we can't, cause if we don't, then what happens when this happens? Then we around here crying about, but don't nobody never want to talk about the other part of it. So, here's what I'm going to say. And I'm just I just want to point to you all. And everybody that's saying she know damn well she shouldn't have called the police.
So when you knew that she was getting whooped on, did you stop it? Did you mind your own business? Right? Because a lot of people will mind their own business, and then when extreme happens, just be clear that at some point in that, the girl was getting whooped. Y'all ain't nobody, everybody like you shouldn't have called. How many people do you know, and I'm just telling you, speaking from my own experience, how many times have we known somebody that we know is getting beat on, whooped on, jumped on by somebody else that we know, but it's convenient for us not to talk about it? And then when it gets to this level, then we like, oh, she bogus for calling the police. Now, I'm not justifying it, but I gotta help y'all understand. There's a whole nother part to that story. Whole nother part to that story. And I don't think that we like to talk about the uncomfortable component of it. There's a few things that I saw in that. The sister called the police. I didn't see the domestic violence that happened before it, but that probably did happen somewhere. Probably ain't the first time. And when you don't have any recourse, you do call the police, and maybe if that's your only way out. So I got a whole bunch to talk about. Like, I just think why like y'all will sit around here and protect abuse and pretend like you ain't seen it. Y'all will be liking, clapping, talking about, oh, I don't know what the problem is. And when somebody take a stand, then you mad because the police shot the boy, shot the man. But when we had the opportunity to address it as brothers, you know it's cool. Y'all know, I mean, sometimes when I hear brothers talk about what they gonna slap, do, hit, I'm like, really? That's what we on? But nobody talk about that. I just need to say to everybody that said, everybody that's like she shouldn't have called the police, I do want to ask y'all what's y'all opinion on her getting her butt whooped. By a man. Hey, Mac, it was her apartment. Was she going to put him out physically? And I'm not dissing you. I'm just saying, like, you know, I do think, though, that y'all, like, we conveniently ignore beatdowns of men or women, because I know some women that will beat a man down, too. But I think, like, this is that moment of taking responsibility in your community. You know, I've taken a lot of L's for saying things that nobody else wants to say because it's uncomfortable. So y'all, everybody kick it with you, knowing you getting your butt kicked, and send you home. And be like, oh, it's all good. And as long as you don't say nothing, we don't say nothing. It's the Maze Jackson Show. I'm just listening to, I'm watching the comments on both ways. And I just got to say, y'all got to, who do you call when you getting your tail beat and you a woman? Y'all want, mugs be acting like they ain't never seen it or heard it.
Leave, man. You know, I've been not through it because I don't believe in hitting on women, but I think, like, in my circle, I don't know, like, one person, but like, we always address it, like especially like around us, is, you know, like, you can't really like do that. But then I believe with a person, it's kind of more of the fact, like, all right, after I come and save you, and then you keep going back to it. I think that's when people start minding their business. Like, if you gonna keep crying to me and be like, hey, this person keep doing that, and you deserve better, and you keep staying, is like, at what point do we step in? If we keep saying this person no good, you should just leave them. Like, you know, if they hit you once, then they hit you again, stuff like that, then you just leave. But like you said, we accept less. You keep letting somebody is going to do what you allow them to do. You know, like.
But if you think that's what you supposed, but I'm gonna tell you, Riis, that there are people who think they supposed to get beat. Now, I'm just tell you. Remember what was that movie I was just watching with the girl? She played the singer. The light skin, right? Nah, she was the light skin. She was like Billie Holiday or something like that. But remember, she left old boy because she was like, he treated her nice, he treated her good. She was like, I need somebody that's gonna kick my ass every once in a while, and we gonna have. But I think that we have so many such toxic relationships that people like. I be seeing people with black eyes who be thinking like, oh, it's all good, like, and then that's all my point is. All my point is that. I don't know what led up to this. I don't know how many fights. I don't know how many times. But at the point in which I pay for the crib, no matter how many times I do, you got to leave. And if you ain't got no brothers, or if he can whoop your brothers, and you know that somebody told you that as soon as I get back, as soon as I come home, I'm still coming back here to whoop your ass, maybe she wanted him dead. She didn't have no recourse. All I'm saying to y'all is that so for me, I wanted y'all to hear the whole thing. Like, it's one thing to show the police shooting, disconnected from everything. I saw absolutely no compassion for the woman in the comments. Okay, none.
Saying that I didn't hear, oh my
I
God,
didn't hear nobody say, but for the woman. I'm talking about for the woman who sat there and said, I done got beat up, punched around, blah, 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 blah. And this my house. And dog, if you in my house got a knife on me in my house with my kids, what am I supposed to do? Call your guys so they can come over there, and if he decide he want to pop, now you going to lose a family member? I mean, it sound cool. It all sound cool.
I think we got to take pride in ourselves, man. Like, we already know what the police gonna come and do when you here, and if we don't know, then we just watched. So you know what I'm saying. So it's all it's all about understanding that, and we got to know the value in us. Like, you don't have to accept that. I don't care what you. And then if you are the one that say I need somebody to beat on me, then you shouldn't call the cops. You know what I'm saying? But no, like, I'm for real. Like you said, I'm gonna lead a good guy, but I'm gonna go to a dude I know that's gonna beat me. You know, and now you crying like I want to call it, which is not right. I do understand, but you know what I'm saying. That's what you asked for.
I'll get you if you if y'all are brawlers and y'all do that. That's your thing, right? You know, y'all be in the room. That's cool.
But don't call.
If you be like, punch me.
But if you didn't let that happen to me 23 times, like that'd be my only thing. Is like I've stepped into
all
two.
We saw one thing, Riis.
Yeah.
All we saw was once.
See once.
All we saw was this incident, self-contained. All we know is I heard nobody show one bit of concern or compassion for the woman who was getting beat in this process. I'm not saying that he should have died. What I am saying is that these are preventable situations, and some kind of way we got to get to it. I'm just telling y'all, brothers be around here, everybody be acting like they be looking the other way, they be whooping women, the whole thing. That ain't me. I ain't with it. I don't rock with it. Don't tell me about you hit a girl, don't tell me about none of it, because I ain't for it. I'm not. I'm just not, and I'm not going to sit around and be like, I'm not going to play like it's cool. I'm going to be like, straight up, dog, you beat your girl? Like, and if she stays, she a fool, but you still, if that's what you own, we not rocking. Look, y'all. The part of this whole thing is that I just didn't see not one bit of compassion for the woman in the mix. She washing his nigga clothes. It's the Maze Jackson Show. For Maze and Riis, Ruthie, sometimes Todd, I am the host of the Maze Jackson Show, asking every single day, what's in it for the black people? If you don't like it, still tell them. Maze said, we out of here. Peace.
Let's get down to business and go ahead and address the facts, man. Lightfoot seems more lesbian than black. Rahm Emanuel's another case. He was just as tired. 50 closed schools left much to be desired. Police had Anjanette naked on that body cam. They suppressed the footage so it couldn't touch a lot of hands. Reminds me of that 16 shots in that cover-up. Both of them similar, so I went and dug it up. George Floyd killed, a lot of riots happened in the town. Southside burned and they wouldn't let them bridges down. Grandmother sick, need a prescription and plus a couple groceries. You gon' have to travel just to get it now. COVID-19 out here shutting all the business down. Not enough SBA loans to even give around. So many failed businesses that you can put them in the pile. If you don't survive the pandemic, it's gon' sit you down. We sing, dance, play ball, entertain, and crack jokes. Government infested black neighborhoods with crack smoke. System that milked us so bad, we got lactose. Still trying to find out what's in it for us black folks. We sing, dance, play ball, entertain, and crack jokes. Government infested black neighborhoods with crack smoke. System that milked us so bad, we